Guys, it's me, Shell360, and this is another chat video, but this is probably going to be a pretty short chat video because this is basically don't do what I do, kids. So I went to the Shiny fan meet this weekend. It was a Sunday, and today is Tuesday. It's a couple of days later. And when I got up that morning to go to the fan meet, I did the thing I do every morning. I got up, I fixed my breakfast, and I had a cup of tea because I used to drink coffee every morning, but the doctor told me that it was bad for my reflux, so I took to drinking tea. I drank a cup of tea, and then I left the house. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I was going to be in line in the heat for several hours, so I didn't bother to buy a water bottle while I was out or do anything extra. When I got to Carrollton, which is where I was meeting up with the person I went to the concert with, we went to go eat at the noodle shop in front of the H Mart. I had a small cup of water there, and then we get to the Verizon Theater, and I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be okay. We'll be in there pretty soon. We'll only be outside for a couple of hours. I didn't think about the fact that I had not been drinking enough water that day. I basically had, all told, maybe about 12 ounces of fluid that day before we got there. And by the time we got there, it was probably about 4:45, close to 5 o'clock. So I'm working on 10 ounces of fluid all day long. We go to stand in line after, meeting a couple of people, grabbing some fan goods, stuff like that. And I'm standing in line and I feel myself stop breathing. And not even being able to catch a breath, but it just felt like my breathing had completely shallowed out. So I got out of line and I stood under a tree, and I'm enjoying the shade, but still it's not any relief. I'm still completely heart racing, feeling like I'm going to pass out. And I guess I must have looked like I was going to too, because I walked past another fan that was outside. It was an older black lady, or I won't say older, she was probably about my age, and she said, "Girl, you better get hydrated before you pass out," because my normal brown skin had turned pink at this point because I was just so, all my blood was at the surface of my skin. So I left the venue actually to go to the gas station where I bought an electrolyte water and some Gatorade, and I drank all that before I went back to the theater and got inside to go to the concert. But even that small amount of time I spent outside, in that heat, because I spent probably about an hour outside in the heat before I left again to go get something to drink. Even that hour has wrecked me. And it's wrecked me in some really weird ways. The next day I woke up and I was extremely lightheaded, even though I had drunk I drank a water about that big. I would say probably I drank about 32 ounces of water between the time I left to go to the gas station and the time that I got into the lobby of the theater. I drank a lot of water super fast. But the next day I was still really lightheaded. My stomach was erect. I was erect. That sounded gross. My stomach was a wreck. I had diarrhea. I was really in a bad place. And even today, I am feeling a little bit better, but not nearly as well as I could have been. And I think it's because I'm recovering from this dehydration. So, I just want to have this chat to point out, if you're going to something like this, think about other things besides just enjoying the experience, because I really did enjoy the experience. I thought it was great. But at the same time, the experience for me was hampered the next day by how ill I was. And I'm so glad I told my employers I was going to need a day off to recover from the traveling, because I totally needed it. I absolutely needed it. Because I was a mess, and I'm still kind of a mess, but work has to be done, so I couldn't really take off more than a day. But when you're planning on going to something like this, check the weather. Make sure you bring hydration with you if you're going to be doing concerty things like this in the summertime. Make sure you eat a good meal. That's important as well. Make sure that you're dressed appropriately. I never wear shorts. In my real life day-to-day, I only wear pants. I don't wear shorts. Every once in a while I'll wear a dress, but even if I do wear a dress, I wear leggings underneath it because I'm just not a big fan of showing off my legs. That day I wore shorts. I wore shorts because I knew I was going to be hot. And I think if I had worn pants that day, I would have never made it into the fan meet because I would have passed out from heat stroke outside the venue. It was that severe. So please, you know, if you're going to be traveling to any more concerts, if you're going to be doing any more outside stuff, I know the whole K-Con time is over, so it's really too late for that warning, but just make sure to take care of your health, you know, because you can't enjoy your faves if your body is in revolt. And thank goodness I chugged all that water before I went into the fan meet to see Shiny, because I really do think if I hadn't taken any fluids at some point during the concert as I was screaming my head off, I probably would just flat out passed out. They probably would have had to carry me out of the venue. So yeah, I'm glad that that didn't happen, but just take care of yourselves, loved ones, because it's serious out here, you know, and Texas is not a joke. It's really weird because Texas, where I'm at, because Texas is a huge state, but Texas where I'm at has what they call a humid heat. In El Paso, where I used to live, which was on the other side of Texas, the heat there is a dry heat, but here in East Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's a wet heat. And it's really deceiving because you're outside and you're sweating, and because you're sweating, you don't feel the dehydration because you're feeling the moisture on your skin. Whereas, you know, when you're in El Paso, you know, that your sweat dries really quick. So you start thinking, okay, I need to go ahead and get something to drink. But, you know, in East Texas, you're kind of damp and the air is a little bit damp, and that heat that you're feeling is kind of coming in convectional waves from all the asphalt. You don't feel the impact right away, and it's like once you feel it, that's when you know it's gone too far. But anyway, this is a whole 6 minutes talking about dehydration. I really have got to find better things to chat about in these videos. I promise I'll do better in the future. But anyway, thanks for watching this. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you later. Bye.